for me, the gear stuff is like, it's actually helping me write the next record, because with the sounds that we are able to find through different stuff, it's like the rabbit hole for me. So I feel like I'm like the baby that's just waking up to a new like adventure.
Both of us use like the most minimal amount of gear possible to make a sound happen. I was never into gear when I started playing guitar because I couldn't afford any of the stuff that you're meant to have. Like I literally couldn't even afford an amp, so it wasn't something I was like able to be interested in even. But then again, also the sound that I like in guitars is like very clean. I'm impressed when people can use gear and they really understand it, but at the same time, I never wanted it to be a crutch. Like I like what ideas you can have on the guitar, like not like what pedals you've like managed to buy.
My favorite basses are just ones that I've bought when I've come over here, actually, just because I haven't been able to carry the bass over or whatever, and I just go to like a guitar shop and buy a Squier, and then my latest bass is just like a Squier P bass, and I really love it. And I tried out, like a Fender 1977 blah 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 at the time, and I was like, why am I going to pay so much more for this? This one is really great.
I am not a gearhead whatsoever, but I just kind of do things based on feeling. I don't know anything about it. I sort of purposefully don't learn, for better or for worse. But yeah, Lena's got a different vibe altogether.
Yeah, I have the complete opposite answer. I love gear. I love learning about gear.
Yeah, I'm very excited by effects pedals, and actually a lot of the effects pedals that I like the most I learned about from She Shreds, because it's such a male-dominated field, and it's really nice to know about the women and non-binary people who are creating effects pedals. So some of my favorite brands are Earthquaker and Cattle and Bread and Frantone, and I learned about those from reading She Shreds.
My relationship with gear is a little weird because, I don't know, I'm still like learning along the way. Like I just got like my first 2 pedals. I have a Rat distortion pedal and then a Boss reverb pedal, and that's literally all I use on stage, just those 2. I don't ever have a board. I just like bring those 2 around. I don't know, I kind of like to work with less, and the less I have, like the more creative I feel like I can get. It's just like, even if I just have pots and pans, I'm like, what can I do with that?
Everybody was giving us advices like, this is the amp you should get, this is the guitar you should play, this is the pedal that fits you and stuff. I think it's by seeing it. Like we tour with a band and suddenly they have like a delay pedal that suddenly, oh my god, I love how that guitar sounds. I wouldn't say we're freaks of gear.
I would say we like keeping it simple.
Yeah, but also, for example, with a new record, we had like a really good mix guy, and he put so many effects on guitars and bass and everything. We want to sound like the record, we need pedals, because the first record was more like raw in that way, so we didn't really need anything. But now it's like we like our sound to be more polished and more thought about.
Like the idea of if you're listening down in the audience to understand what is the instrument doing. Like this guitar is doing this, and the bass is doing this, and the other guitar is doing that. So like we don't like the confusing moment of like we like to be standing in the crowd and like, oh my god, and catch all the parts of every song.
I had a phase where I was like really into pedals and really into like the gear parts of it. I feel more of lately I've gotten more back to my roots as far as like DIY and kind of like making it work, as far as like being more experimental and just being really like creative about what you have on hand.
I have a Boss tuner, an Earthquaker devices, a disaster transport delay, what the hell is that called?
I really am just drawn to things always that sound sort of dark and nasty, but are also cut through, aren't just like sort of airy. So most of my pedals are just trying to get at that. I've got a Death by Audio fuzz pedal that Ty Segall gave me when we recorded with him for our last record that I use all the time too.
I remember it's a Tech 21 classic. That's what it's called. I can't have enough gear. Give me your gear.